I want to share my story. I am a federal worker, and we are being harassed and dehumanized on a daily basis. We get to see in the news that they question if we even have two working neurons. So I wanted to share my story and give a face to who this is affecting, okay? In my position, I currently am a revenue generating position, okay?
Boy, here we go.
Remember when I said 2025, it's gonna get worse before it gets better? It seems like we're going down that path. And the reason why I used that clip to set up the rest of the video is because if you haven't been keeping up with the news, federal workers are being laid off in the thousands. I'm talking about 80,000, 10,000, 20,000. It's probably at this moment, probably over 100,000 federal employees have been laid off.
You're fired.
And it's now creating a strain on an unemployment system. So let's take a look at this. It says laid off federal workers are overwhelming states with unemployment requests putting a strain on finances. Now, when they say strain on finances, they mean that the state themselves is creating a budget nightmare.
This is not funny.
And so if your state is already on the collapse of budget, Illinois, New Jersey, it continues on, right? If your state is already on the brink, the unemployment isn't going to help them. But hey, listen, I know what you're saying. I know what a lot of you guys are saying. You guys are saying,
I just saw last week that we added a bunch of jobs. So what are you talking about laying off 100,000 people?
First time.
First time.
You believe this government? You believe a politician or any politician to tell you the truth? It doesn't matter if it was Trump now or Biden then. They both lie. But we're going to jump into it. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, too, I have a newsletter that will give you tremendous value. And guess what? It's free. And then also too, if you need any type of financing that deals with commercial or investment properties, I'm your guy, been in it for almost 20 years, and I can assist you with that. Guys, let's jump straight into it. We know that it's going to create a strain on the states, and I've been telling you guys this from the very, very, very beginning, that you cannot trust these numbers. What's going to happen is the government's going to come back a year later and say, yeah, those numbers that we had, yeah, the numbers that we told you, actually, that was wrong.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
I know what you're saying. You're saying, Orlando, how could you say that? I would say, it already happened. They've already done this before. Let me just show you the proof. It says here, Fed confronts up to 1 million U.S. jobs vanishing in revision. So if they've already done it once, you don't think they'll do it again? You can't be that naive.
It's all just the same thing over and over. We can't help ourselves.
But let's go back to what I was talking about. It says a dozen states are warning that their social services are under strain due to the volume and pace of unemployment requests from the federal employees who have been fired in the DOGE-led job cuts. At least 100,000 employees have been terminated across various federal agencies and departments over the last 7 weeks. Tens of thousands of probationary employees have been let go, and more reductions are expected to happen in the near future. Now, I've said this over and over again. I've been stating that something like this was going to happen, that people were going to lose jobs, that the next step for the economy going down was losing jobs. I think I yelled this over and over and over again, and people were saying, oh, Orlando, you're blowing things out of proportion. Orlando, don't worry about it. Orlando, it's never going to happen. And what do I see in all of these videos? What do I see? I see individuals saying, I was surprised. I never knew it was going to happen.
Then I got my job at the IRS, and I started at the bottom. I was a GS-5 tax examiner. I processed the paperwork that you send into the IRS. I could have just said, okay, this is fine, and lived off state benefits on the small salary you make starting out in the federal government, and I could have just scapegoated there, but I didn't. I applied myself. I made myself an expert on our internal systems, to the point that I was training other people on how to do the job.
Whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Look, I just want to stop this. Did you hear what she just said? Did you hear what she just said? She said, I got so good, I was training others on how to do the job.
Do you understand now?
I don't think she even understood or heard exactly what she was saying. You were preparing them to lay you off. Let's let her finish and see what she has to say.
And I built my resume, I built my skill set, and I continue to rise in the ranks. I took jobs I didn't want so that I could get the jobs that I needed. And within my first 6 years of service, 5 years of service, let me say, actually, I'm in my 6th year. In my first 5 years of service, I went from a GS5 to a GS11 because I worked hard, I built my resume, and I learned what I needed to learn to do the job well. And now I'm in an important job, a very important job that brings money into our country. Last year, I single-handedly brought in more than $1 million for our country by just with my work, okay? And now we are being made to feel less than human, day in and day out. Next phase is they're going to cram us into buildings because we've all been called to come back to work, even though my position is a field position and I'm supposed to be out in the field, okay? They're calling us back into the office while simultaneously trying to close a bunch of offices. So what they want to do is cram us into buildings, increase the work stress, and get more of us to quit.
If you really listen to it, some people would say, the IRS or the federal government would say, cool story.
Great story. Compelling and rich.
We really appreciate you bringing in the money. We really appreciate you doing all this extra work and leveling yourself up, but we do not care. The base of that video was loyalty being destroyed. See, she believed that she had some inherent loyalty from her employer. She thought she had that. Because if she didn't believe that, then she wouldn't be using words like, I have a really important job. I brought $1 million to you guys. Because she believes her job is so important. It's on a pedestal that why would they ever let her go? She said previously, when I pointed out to you guys, that she was training others to take over her position, basically. And then she's surprised at when the corporation, the federal government, whoever is not loyal to her, when she's been giving years and years and years. And we're not talking about years just in money. She wanted the respect. She wanted everything that comes along with it, seniority, all of these things. But what is the one thing that we say here, guys? What do I tell you about these jobs? They don't know you. You're a number to them. They have no clue about what you do. You're number 6, 7, 8, 10 to them. And you can see she's mad. She's very angry. She doesn't like the fact that she has to go back to her office because she says she's supposed to be out in the field. She's saying that I am never supposed to go back into the office because that my position never said that. So did you not go back into the office? And that's the reason why you got laid off? Because here's the thing that I've been telling people. I've been having these conversations. If you decide that you don't want to go back into the office, and when your job tells you have to go back into the office, you have a couple of options. Either get laid off because they're going to do that. You guys are calling these people's bluff, and they do not care. That's my point. They do not care. Or get ready to have another position available to you so that you can work there. Because the remote work thing is not even an argument anymore. If you don't go back into your job from remote work, going back into the office, you don't have a job. I'm not saying that in a way to offend anyone. I'm saying it in a way that is just common sense. If you want to keep making a paycheck from this said job, you have to do what said job tells you to do.
What?
Until you get a better job or until you decide, you know what, I don't need this job anymore. But when you're working for that job?
Today I walked into work and smiling and greeting as I always do, with a positive attitude. And when I walked into work today, I was told, Haley, you shouldn't be smiling today. What? We are all losing our jobs today. Today is your last day. You're being laid off. There wasn't a notice. There wasn't an email sent out. There wasn't our higher-ups telling us anything that we knew. But to come to find out that there has been some confirmation on their part that they knew, but we didn't know until we walked into work today. We just started our pay period for this week. Imagine coming into work, you just started your pay period, and you come into work today and you find out you're no longer going to have a job. But not to your fault, but to the company's fault. There has been so many people in the last week that have got an apartment, got a house, got a car because they really needed it to get to work.
Yeah.
Has a family, has bills. How are we supposed to even pay bills knowing you just laid us off starting our new pay period?
It's clicking.
But this is square one health to you. It's embarrassing coming to work and the news showing up and you're finding out that you're losing your job, but the higher ups know, but none of the employees know. You're finding out as you come into work today. Why is that okay? Why is it okay that we don't get paid our pay time off? We worked really hard for those hours. There are people that have over 80 hours of pay time off, and they're not getting paid it because Square One Health is not going to pay it, and that's what they told us today. They are not going to pay us our pay time off. Why is there no repercussions for a company that knew that they were going to shut down but didn't tell their employees until we found out today?
Oh my God.
See, again, this is a loyalty issue. She's surprised that her company that laid her off, that they knew that they were going to lay you off before they laid you off.
Fact.
She's surprised that they already had a plan in place. She's surprised that the higher ups already had different positions for who they were going to save and who they weren't going to save. Loyalty.
I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
She's in, the F around and find out. She found out. She found out that these companies aren't loyal. That these companies will always, let me repeat this again, always choose money over you. So you should do the same. And then she makes a statement saying, I don't get it. I don't get it. People have bought cars. People have bought houses. People have just signed new leases. I've been trying to warn you guys. And I get that. This is the reason why I'm saying, and I know not everyone sees my videos, but there's a lot of people who see the video, don't do the research themselves, and they go, Orlando was right about that. Maybe I should have looked that up. I am a federal worker. And you're surprised?
Awkward. So awkward.
This is the reason why I've said, make sure you get your credit together. Make sure you get an emergency savings account. Make sure you do these things before you buy a house. These guys on YouTube, your realtor, your next door neighbor, everybody's pushing you to spend, and spend. And I'm telling you, hey, maybe you should just invest in research, education, get yourself ready. So when you are able to buy that home, it's easy peasy. Your credit's together, right? You got the down payment, right? You got your emergency savings account, right? Now you can financially live, right? Is your job good? Pretty good, huh? This is the reason why I say this. Instead, what you're getting is individuals who are living paycheck to paycheck, didn't pay attention to any of the red flags. Heck, they probably didn't even know inflation was up. And then when they come to their job, they're like, what are all these news people here for? They're caught off by surprise. Just last week, they saw their best friend get fired. Oh, he must have just been late. oh, it ain't me. And then you show up to work today. And then you go,
You guys knew? You guys knew you were gonna let us off? Why did you let us know in advance?
because that would be too much like right. Remember, we're working in an unfair system. And if you believe that this is gonna be a fair system, oh man. Oh, I have a time traveling rock outside. 100,000. Anybody who wants it. 100K though. If that's what you believe, it's right outside.
Really shitty news today. My work from home job I've been at for a year and a half just laid me off. I had a really good salary there. I had really good benefits. And I said it wasn't my performance or anything. I was crying on the call. So I've been wanting to start posting on TikTok. This is day one of me being laid off. I look like shit right now. I am in my truck. I'm gonna go hang out with my horse. She's expensive. Love her. I have to figure that shit out currently. I have minimal amount of credit card debt. I had some ER visits this year, so I'm just gonna start posting on TikTok. I'm not gonna let this ruin my 2025. I really have worked to improve myself in the last year. I have had a lot of challenges, and this year I have been, I've changed my mental health. I've improved it so much.
I like to point out things that people say that really tell you the story. So if you listen to what she says this. She says, I had a great salary. I had great benefits. It was just she made good amount of money. And then what is the next thing that she says? My boss told me that I didn't have any problems as a performer. I wasn't a low performer. So why do you think you got fired? It's because of that great salary and that great benefits. They think to themselves,
You're making how much again? 200? 150? We could get 3 people to do your job. These benefits, yeah, you're older and yeah, you're pulling on the benefits. If we get 3 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds, they're not gonna be pulling on the insurance. So not only do we pay less in health insurance, and also we get 3 people for your 1 salary.
See, when you listen to people will tell you exactly what the story is. And that's the story. The story is you make too much money.
Sensational.
And they need to save money. And does that save money mean that they could replace you with someone else? Yes, it does. The name of the game is save money. At this point, how much money are we saving? Nobody knows. But what you do know is that these companies aren't loyal. You should have no loyalty to these guys at all. And unfortunately, people do. People really believe that these federal government jobs were stable. You're never going to get fired. You can do whatever you want to do and never get fired. I'm not saying that's the case with this lady. I'm not saying that's the case with anyone. What I'm saying is the rumor mill says federal workers just sit around and do nothing. Federal workers sit around and get paid a lot of money just to hold up a desk.
Pay me my money.
Now, as a disclaimer, we can't really say that's true or not. I don't work at a federal place. Maybe federal workers can comment below. What does that conversation look like when it comes to productivity of a federal worker? I don't know. I'm just stating what the rumor mill says. Let's continue on.
It is March 11th, and an update about my job status. I'm no longer employed. Yep. As much as I was saying it, that it was a possibility, I just didn't believe it would happen, but it happened yesterday. I was let go in the most cold and disrespectful way possible. We'll do a story time on that later, but I said I'd update you all, so there's the update.
Another case of loyalitis. It is. That's the truth. These people continue to believe that, I didn't think that they would ever let me go. Why would they ever let me go? These companies, man, they love me. Like, do you see how much money I bring into them? Do you see I show up on time every day and I'm happy and everybody loves me? My workers put me in as the worker of the month. How are you going to let me go? My peers think I'm the best of all of them.
First time.
And this is what I'm saying, guys. You continue to believe that these corporations, that these people are your family, you're going to get let down every single time. But listen, if you like videos like this, then please join our Patreon. Our Patreon has exclusive videos just like this. We go into more detail, guys. You will love it. And we all know you won't get all of your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video right here. Yes, this one right here. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, and get you into your first rental property. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.